We're here to share the story of a world that's full of light.
My wife, she's 8. That phrase isn't a joke, it's a confession. In Nigeria, when a grown man calls a little girl my wife, people laugh. They see it as harmless, a cultural quirk. But let's be clear, that is grooming. But in Nigeria, they'll say, "Aw, how sweet." But if he said that in the UK, he'd be in prison before sunset. Let me ask you, what kind of people laugh when a grown man claims a little girl as his future wife? What kind of people romanticize children? What kind of sick people can't even define grooming? Let me break it down for all the uneducated and educated but willfully ignorant pedos lurking around underage girls. Grooming is a calculated process where an adult builds a relationship with a child to manipulate, exploit, and abuse them. It often involves building trust, fulfilling needs, isolation, and normalizing. It starts with my wife. It becomes shish on my lap. Then don't tell anyone. And finally, it becomes rape. And you call it culture. You say it's just a joke. You say he didn't mean it like that. Let me tell you what you mean. You mean that in Nigeria, predators wear agbada. You mean that in Nigeria, molesters hold microphones and Bibles. You mean that in Nigeria, perverts drive school buses and preach in mosques. And nobody does a damn thing about it. I'm speaking from abroad, where even one suggestive text message to a child lands you in court. Where one grooming attempt can put you behind bars for 10 years. Do you even know what a child is? If she's below 18, she's legally a child. No debate. And if you're older than her, especially by several years, you have no business seeing her any other way. But in Nigeria, a man texts a 13-year-old, "I love you," and you say, "Is he not a man? Boys will be boys." A teacher gropes a student. You say, "She was too friendly." A pastor says, "God revealed she's my wife," and you lay hands and pray over the marriage. No country in the world covers up child grooming like Nigeria. None. Go and search it. There is no public record of a single Nigerian ever being jailed for grooming a child. Not for inappropriate touching, not for romantic texting, not for sexually charged WhatsApp chats with a minor, not even for marrying a child. Because Nigeria does not see children as human with rights. You see them as servants, wives in training, emotional support tools, or family property. A child can never give consent. Not in the UK, not in Ireland, not in the US, not in Nigeria, not anywhere. Consent means understanding the situation, the risks, the power balance, and having the freedom to say no. Children don't have that, especially not in Nigeria, where adults believe child should never say no to them. Even when the child is uncomfortable, afraid, or being violated. And before you say, don't generalize, let me ask, how many churches in Nigeria teach consent? How many mosques warn against grooming and child marriage? How many schools teach children about boundaries? How many parents even believe children can say no? How many parents in rural areas even understand what grooming and consent is? You don't believe in consent, you believe in control. You raise children to be silent, submissive, obedient, and scared. Then when they're abused, you say, "Why didn't she speak?" Let me shout it so even the elders at the back can hear. Consent is not silence. Consent is not fear. Consent is not obedience. And a child cannot consent. Period. But in Nigeria, you twist everything. You make rape look like romance. You make molestation look like mentorship. You make grooming look like tradition. And now, because people like me and my dad speak from abroad, you get defensive. But we're not here to pet anybody's ego. We're here to shake your idols. If your culture lets you marry a 10-year-old, it's not culture, it's child abuse. If your religion says a 12-year-old is ready for sex, it's not holy, it's predatory. If your society lets grown men flirt with children, it's not funny, it's criminal. You've protected the predators enough. You've silenced survivors long enough. You've sacrificed your daughters to respect long enough. So today on the Onaolapo Show, I say this loud and clear. You don't raise children that way. You are only raising victims. You don't teach protection. You teach silence. And if you're not outraged, you're part of the problem. But that ends here, because this generation, we're naming it, we're exposing it, we're fighting it, and we're not asking for permission. Dad, welcome to the show today.
Yeah.
We're talking about grooming and consent.
Oh.
So Dad,
Yeah.
honestly, this is disturbing.
Yeah.
Grown men in Nigeria calling little girls my wife, family, friends and neighbors saying, when you grow up, I'll marry you. And everyone laughs like it's normal. Dad, how did we get here? How did an entire country normalize something as dangerous as grooming and still pretend it's culture?
Heavenly God, what you are feeling is valid. It is disturbing. And it should disturb every person with a conscience. Because the real tragedy is that in Nigeria, we've made something harmful to look harmless. We've turned deeply problematic behavior into culture, into jokes, into harmless play. And in doing so, we've failed millions of girls. Heavenly God, you ask, how did we get here? We got here because somewhere along the line, we stopped seeing girls as children. We started treating them as future wives, even before they finished primary school. We've got here because Nigeria is a country where we've confused patriarchy with culture, silence with wisdom, and spirituality with abuse. See, let me quickly tell you a story. When I was about 12 or 14 years, growing up in Alagomeji, Lagos, Nigeria, there was a man in the community who used to call this 13-year-old girl, Yawo me, my wife. We take care of you when we grow up. He will pat her head, give her sweet, and sit on his laps. Do you know what adult around does? They laugh at it as if it's a Nollywood comedy skit. No one ever stopped to ask, what if he meant it? Heavenly God, one day, that girl stopped coming out to play outside. Vanished like that. Do you know what happened? They said she has gone to live with her uncle. But we, our mate, we know that she has been put in family way. We knew what happened. And nobody did a damn thing. That's how we got here. We got here because in Nigeria, the abuser is protected as long as he's wearing a title, such as uncle, pastor, alpha, teacher, or daddy. We let grown men plant sexual seeds in children's head and wrap it in ribbon, calling it culture. We call girls wives before they even have breasts. We praise them for cooking, kneeling, serving, and we say she's behaving like a good wife already. Heavenly God, that's not love. That's programming. It's psychological warfare dressed up as a tradition. We groom them to obey. We raise them for men. And this didn't happen by accident. It's a calculated design because a society that worships patriarchy must raise its girls to serve it. Quietly, sexually, and sacrificially. So, the jokes are not jokes. They are the beginning of exploitation. Heavenly God, the first stage of grooming is normalization. And Nigeria, we normalize grooming so well. We gave it a tribal names and added wedding drums to it. You hear people say in the community, that's how our father did it. She's ripe. They even say it's better for her to marry early than become wayward. Heavenly God, What they really mean is we don't see girls as human beings. We see them as property to be molded, managed, and married off. Sad. And this is why 43% of girls in the northern Nigeria married before they are 18. And some are as young as 10, 12-year-old. And that's why over 70% of child sexual abuse happens in homes by someone the child knows and trusts. That's why our churches and mosques are full of predators with holy titles. Because we, as a society, would rather protect culture than protect children. That's why we are here. Heavenly God. You see, the truth is bitter. In Nigeria, Patriarchy wears agbada, he holds the Bible and Quran, and smile while calling a child my wife. And when we laugh, instead of scream, we become part of the grooming. But you know, not in this house, not on this podcast, not anymore in our own Nigeria. We are breaking the silence every episode by episode. We are shaming the shameful, and we will continue to drag culture out of the shadows and demand, if your culture hurts children, let it die. Let's burn that lie down and build a country where our girls are not just future wives, but future leader. And this is what every parent should start doing. This is the biggest education every parent can give their child. Heavenly God, it's bigger than the education they get in the school. Because schools in Nigeria don't teach this. They don't even understand it. Some of them even are part of it.
That is sad. Dad,
Yeah?
you and I know that children can't give consent.
Yeah.
You taught me and my sister this, and I can't even remember when. But a child saying yes doesn't mean she understands.
Yeah.
That power dynamics,
Yeah.
fear, and manipulation
Yeah.
can all look like agreement. But here's what's worse.
Yeah.
Religion houses with grown men are actually performing marriages between grown men and 15-year-old girls,
Yeah.
claiming it's from God. Dad,
Yeah?
why do religious leaders, the very people who are supposed to protect children, especially girls, end up being some of the most dangerous groomers in Nigeria? And why don't Nigerian parents ever question them?
Heavenly God, that question breaks my heart because I'm a parent. And the answer is one of the ugliest truths in our country today. Yes, children cannot give consent. You've known that since you were 5. Because I taught you that real love respects power, timing, and understanding. A child saying yes to an adult is not a consent. It's survival. It's fear. It's obedience wrapped in confusion. But what you've just asked cuts deeper than that. Why are the very people who wear cassocks and turbans also the ones destroying innocence in God's name? Let me be honest with you, my daughter. We have a big crisis of silence and spiritual abuse in Nigeria today. And it's eating our children alive. See, let me paint the picture this way. Imagine a 13-year-old, one Alpha, imam or politician, well respected and beloved. We just tell her, you have to be my wife. And when she tells her parent, do you know what they will say? If it is God we, who are we to question God? Heavenly God, that is not faith. That is spiritual grooming. That is the weaponization of trust. And this happens more than people realize. In churches, in mosques, in prayer houses, behind pulpit, and within temples, where we should find healing. And here is the heartbreaking part. Most Nigerian parents never question it. They don't. Why? Because we've been trained generation after generation to place religious authority above accountability, to treat pastor and imams as if they are beyond fault, to teach our children don't ever speak against man of God. But as a person, I will speak loudly, because when religion becomes a cover for child abuse, we are no longer serving God. We are serving ego and evil. That is it. Heavenly God, let's talk fat now. You see, in some parts of northern Nigeria, under Sharia law, girls as young as 12 have been married off with blessings of clerics. In churches across the country, there are documented cases of underage girls being anointed as wives or spiritual brides. Heavenly good. Both the Quran and Bible. No religion permits child abuse. None. But in Nigeria, scriptures is twisted and silence is rewarded. I remember a survival story from Lagos. She was 13 and the pastor said God told him to marry her. She cried every night, but her parents were proud. Our daughter is marrying a man of God. Do you know what that means? Pride, where there should have been protection. And this is just a moral failure. It's a generational betrayal. The truth is, many of these religion bigots are not led by any revelation or God. They are only driven by unchecked power and cultural entitlement. And many parents are too afraid, too indoctrinated to challenge them. So instead of protecting their daughters, they hand them over, wrapped in gele, dressed in lace, but stripped of choices. And do you know what makes it worse? When victims pick up in Nigeria, they are told, "Don't ruin the name of the church. You are lying against an alpha." Some people will even say, "Just forgive and move on." We are only raising our girls to feel guilty for being abused, and our boys to believe that power excuses everything. But you know that's not going to happen in our own house. Not in this generation. Heavenly good. You ask, why don't Nigeria parents question religious leader? And I will say it again. In Nigeria, questioning has been demonized because culture has made faith and fear look the same. In many families, religion has become an excuse to surrender their judgment. But the truth is that real faith doesn't silence the truth. Real religion protects the vulnerable, and real spiritual leadership doesn't prey on children. It defends them at all costs. Let me say this clearly. Any religion that demands the silence of a child to protect the reputation of an adult has already lost its way. And any parent, I say again, any parent who protects a pulpit over their own child's safety, they need to rethink what they truly believe in. So, what do we do now? Heavenly God, we speak up, even when it's uncomfortable. We teach our children, like I taught you, that God is not the author of confusion or abuse. We challenge any doctrine, pastor, imam, or elders who uses faith and culture to excuse harm. We remind parents that protecting a child is a holy act, and we build a new culture where spirituality means safety, where leaders are accountable, and where no girls ever again hears God said you are my wife at the age of 13. Because, see, let me tell you, what God actually said is, protect the little ones. Woe unto anyone who causes them to stumble. Heavenly God, I'm ready for the next question. We need to keep dismantling this dangerous silence in our country. We need to keep saying the truth. Because if we don't make Nigeria better, who will? Is it those in Nigeria that are already indoctrinated? No. We need to start from where we are now.
Dad.
Yeah.
Teachers trading grades for sex. Principals blaming girls for their own abuse. Uncles and cousins abusing children in the same homes where they're supposed to feel safe. This makes me feel sick, Dad. And then, the most heartbreaking quote on the lips of most abused Nigerian girls. My parents said I was trying to break the family apart. Dad, how can family and schools, the two places that are supposed to keep children safe, be the very places grooming thrives? And why do Nigerian parents protect abusers more than they protect their own daughters?
Heavenly good. Your question is raw And it is the truth. And it should make all of us sick. That question eats like thunder, because you are asking what millions of Nigerian girls are too afraid to say out loud. How did schools become the hunting grounds for predators? How did homes, our so-called sanctuaries, turn into a slaughterhouses of innocence? The answer is simple: cultural, religious, familiar, and institutional complicit. Let's stop sugarcoating it. Nigerian families and schools are not just failing our children. They are serving their daughters on a platter to predators. In Nigeria, we are raising our daughters in battlefield, disguised as homes and schools. The place that should be a sanctuary is often a first site of trauma. Teachers, uncles, cousins, stepfathers, even our own biological father. And when the girl child finds the courage to even speak, do you know what people say? Don't say that again. Destroy your family. You will destroy our family name. Don't embarrass us. So instead of punishing the abuser, they punish the truth. Heavenly God, I read a report in 2023 from the Women at Risk International Foundation, WARIF, that showed that 72% of child sexual abuse in Nigeria happens in homes. And most perpetrators are people the child knows, such as families, neighbors, people they call uncle. But here is the worst part. Mothers are often told to keep quiet because the culture says, don't wash your dirty lining outside. A woman's job is to keep the family together. So when their daughter came crying, they silenced them, because society has taught them, the mothers, that a man's reputation is more valuable than a girl's safety. We need to be real here, Heavenly God. For a very long time, we've trained women to be peacekeepers at the cost of their own children for too long. Now, Heavenly God, let's go to the schools. They are not safe either. A place meant for learning has become a grooming ground. Let me prove it to you, Heavenly God. And to everyone watching or listening to us, I challenge you. Go to any public or private schools in Nigeria. Anyone. Ask them two questions. Number one, where is your child safeguarding statement? Number two, who is your designated safeguarding person? Heavenly God, watch their faces and their eyes ball popped out like someone who see a ghost. 90% of Nigerian schools, yes, over 90% have no clue what those terms even mean. Not the teachers, not the principals, not even the owners of the schools. Nothing, zero, nada. They don't know. And yet, these are places where our children spend most of their waking hours. What a heartbreaking disgrace. Heavenly God, you know your safeguarding officer in your school.
Yes, I do. I do.
Yeah. Because in abroad, safeguarding is not just a suggestion, it's the law. Every school in Nigeria must appoint a designated liaison person trained to report abuse immediately to child protection authorities. And do we even have child protection authorities in Nigeria? No, we don't. In abroad, teachers are trained not just academically, but in how to spot, report, and stop abuse. There are mandatory reporting laws, strict background checks, and real accountability. But in Nigeria, we say, let's pray about it. We say, don't spoil the family name. We say they just want to destroy the career of the school or the teacher. Heavenly God, a 2022 UNICEF study found that 1 in 3 secondary school girls in Nigeria has experienced sexual harassment from a teacher or a male staff. Some even trade grades for sex. Others make crude comments, and some physically assault girls behind extra lessons and provide private tutorials. And when the girls speak up, do you know what some of the principals are going to ask? What were you wearing? Did you provoke him? Why are you trying to ruin his career? Why do you want to destroy our school? This school has been existing for the past 40 years. So a teenage girl is failed by her home, then failed again by the classroom. She walks around carrying trauma, while the predator walks free with chalks in one hand and impunity in the other hand, and planning to do it for another girls. And you ask, why do parents protect abusers more than their own children? Because we have a culture that protects appearance, not people. We fear shame more than we fear abuse. We cover evil because family name is greater than child pain. Every time we ask, what will people say?